Okay, so when I worked at Lake Louise,
Yeah.
so I guess half of Lake Louise burned down
Yeah.
a million years ago or whatever. And to go from the left side to the right side of the hotel was always stairs at some point. There was no ramps to get from one side to the other.
Yeah.
So the entire job was loading a cube van up on the one side and driving it around to the other side. And that was the job.
Awesome.
It was dope.
Awesome.
Yeah. I didn't last very long out there, I'll be honest with you, but I partied pretty well
Oh
throughout
yeah.
the whole fucking time
I was gonna
there.
say I don't see how you can't out there. It's did you have to learn like all the history of Chateau Lake Louise? Because I remember them telling me that I have to do that when I was gonna go out there.
I had to do bear training.
Oh yeah.
That was the only thing that was like the fundamental, like bears are not fun, like,
Yeah.
they'll eat you for sure.
I remember so I worked at back then it was the Timberline Hotel
Okay.
in Banff. Now I don't know about now, but it got bought out and renovated, and then it was the Juniper Hotel. It was on the outskirts of Banff. But yeah, one time my my roommate or one of the guys I worked with, he was the night audit at the hotel that I worked at. So I worked at the restaurant as a chef or a cook, I guess.
Yeah.
I was doing an apprenticeship to be a chef. Um, and anyways, he loved grizzly bears. And he's like, if I ever fucking see a grizzly bear or whatever, he's like, you'll hear me because I'll come in the staffacom and I'll be yelling grizzly bear the whole time, and I'll come get my camera and then I'm out. And sure enough, one morning I'm fucking laying in bed and I just hear the door open, and I'm on the third floor of the staffacom, and the door opens. I hear there's grizzly bear, 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 grizzly bear. And he runs by my room into his own room, grabs his camera. I roll out of bed, grab my camera, and I just follow him down the stairs. We run out, we run over, and there's this fucking grizzly bear, and we're trying to take pictures. And then some assholes in a pickup truck like roll through the woods, and they start like circling the bear, which the bear gets scared, obviously. And then they like peel off, and the warden comes up, and we're standing there still like trying to take pictures of this fucking grizzly bear. And the warden, shoots his gun off and stuff like that and gets the grizzly bear to run, and then just starts letting loose on us. He's just yelling at us, "Are you guys fucking idiots? Like, that thing will kill you." And we're just like, yeah, I guess so. We're kind of dumb. Like, I'm sure we're just standing out here trying to, in our pajamas, trying to take pictures of this grizzly bear.
You know what a deer looks like? Yeah. Would you think you would look more or less appealing than a fucking deer?
Oh my goodness. Yeah, we were pretty stupid.
Yeah, man. The stuff that I learned for bear training that was interesting was like you've got to drop a cookie like if they find something to eat, they'll go back to that one place dozens of times.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like it just because they know that there was food there once. Like, and it doesn't take very many times to like make that a regular stop for a bear. So if you're like a hiker dropping fucking banana peels as you go by, like you're endangering that path now.
Yeah.
And that was really what they were trying to get across in the bear training, where it was just like, if you see one, just fucking leave it alone, right? You're not aggressor, it's not aggressor. Like, if it's coming for you, you're pretty well dead.
Yeah.
Like, do whatever you like to do. But I mean, if you're doing the honeycomb mountain and you walk across, what are you gonna do? Right? You're not outrunning it.
Yeah. You're not fighting it off.
Sure as fuck I'm fighting it off.
No.
And I mean, back then I was still full of piss and vinegar. And I was just like, the first time you see a bear, you're like, oh, okay. All right. It's very humbling. Actually, seeing a moose is very humbling too.
Oh yeah.
Not that they were there, but I mean, the first time I saw a moose.
I remember like I lived Beaver Street in Banff for a little while. We rented an apartment there, and just right on our balcony, and there's like elk just like eating the bush in front of our balcony. Like, that's like, for people that have never gone out to the Canadian Rockies, man, like that is a place to go visit. The pictures don't do it justice. When you're standing there and there's mountains all around you. Like, I remember I joined a soccer league in Banff, playing soccer in the soccer fields, surrounded by mountains. Like, that is just unreal.
I tell you, I threw up. I did last summer. I went out to Grand Prairie. We drove out to Grand Prairie.
Oh, lovely.
A buddy of mine from here, and I stayed a couple of nights out there with them, and then I flew into Banff, or I flew into Calgary.
Yeah.
Stayed in Calgary, and one of the days, okay, I'll go do the sulfur hike.
Yeah.
So this thing's like 11K or something.
Oh yeah.
And it's like they ran out of budget. The switchbacks are like this, and it was like fucking totally fine until you're about 3/4 of the way up. And then it's like you're crawling up the hill. And by then I'm toast.
Yeah, I
Right.
believe it.
So about 3/4 of the way up, I'm like, I'm gonna throw up. But now, do I stop drinking water because of that, or do I up the water? Is it because it's not enough? Like, now we're getting into like endurance shit, and
Yeah.
I'm not an endurance athlete.
Yeah.
I don't know if you know that. But I mean, these are things I haven't come across before. So like, I stopped and we ate it. Like, we'll eat or do whatever, and maybe it's this and maybe it's that, and I finally got up to the top of it, and I was like, see, I don't feel so bad. I'm gonna just go for a piss, and then when like
Just projectile vomiting.
everything,
Oh god.
everything that was inside of me, and I get up to the top of this thing, and there's a helicopter pad, and I just laid on my back for probably 5 minutes. And then that's when I was like, I better go pee. Everything's good. Everything's fine. And then I threw my fucking whole body up from my toes and felt way better. But I think my body was just like, what the fuck was that?
That
What
altitude
is
too,
that?
though, is crazy. So we used to hike up like either Norquay Mountain in Banff,
Yeah.
or we did Sunshine once, like in October.
Yeah.
There's snow up top, but nothing
No
below, and we would like
way.
walk up and then go do some snowboarding. I remember being up on Sunshine, and we build a little jump, and we'd walk up and snowboard and hit the jump, and then take your board off and walk back up, and we do that a few times. Honestly, it only took a few times, and you're like, all right, we're spent. Let's
Yeah.
make our way down the hill again.
Yeah.
But we were up there doing that, and you're just hearing like. And we're like, what the hell is that sound? And then it's like, oh, they're setting off dynamite to set off the avalanches before the season starts and everything. And I'm like, and we're up here snowboarding? Like,
Yeah.
does this really seem like a good idea to anybody right now?
Oh, there's avalanches here?
Yeah. Oh God. What are we? Jesus.
Yeah. So you're the people that, like, when you walk down a trail, you're like, where'd this boot come from?
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's us.
Yeah, that's because he's dead under there.
Yeah. We lost the snowboard one time. Oh, my buddy and I, we like so we worked at this restaurant, and one of the servers is like this like semi-pro snowboarder. It gets like flown out to Chile every year and stuff like that, and like
Amazing.
photographed in a magazine. And we get this huge dump of snow, and we end up at Sunshine, and of course we run into him and his buddies, and he's like, you guys should just come with us. I'm not a semi-professional snowboarder by any means. We lost them so quick, and we're in backcountry. We don't know where the hell we are. And we like come up to this cliff, which, looking back on it, to a semi-professional snowboarder, not that big a deal. I'm sure they just rode right off of it, and it was perfectly fine. Yeah. But to us, like, we stopped. I swear to God, it was like almost like Scooby-Doo. Like, he stopped, and then he's like, whoa, whoa, and I come and like hit him from behind, and we almost end up over the edge. And we're standing there looking at this thing, and it's like, well, what are we gonna do now? And I'm like, I don't know. We can like take our boards off and walk back. The snow's like up to our waist. That's how big of a dump it was. He's like, I'm not fucking doing that. And I'm like, I don't know. What's our other option? You want to scale down this cliff and try and climb down?
Smallest guy off the fucking cliff and see if he makes it.
What we should have done is like backed up a little bit, put our snowboards on, and just ridden right off of it. Like, it probably would have been fine.
Grab the board.
Yeah, it probably would have been fine. But
you would have fucking broke your legs.
Yeah, probably.
I mean, I'll ride this thought process if it'll be fun.
Oh God. So we're like, all right. So my buddy starts like inching his way down. It's like this crazy hill, and he's like kind of coming down this hill, and he's holding onto his snowboard.
Yeah.
And then like he kind of goes, and then I don't see him anymore. And I'm like, all right. So I got my snowboard. I start going down. And I'm like trying to go, and then also my boots slip on the rock, so I like slide.
Yeah.
And it's not a hill like this, it's like this. So like, thankfully I slipped.
Everyone listening, it's very steep.
Yeah. So I slip, and I like shoot off this ledge and hit the ground in front of him. So he like fell straight down because he like inched his way and then dropped down. And I shoot off and go in front of him. Now when I hit, he grabs onto my ankle.
Yeah, but the board goes.
Well, yeah. So I let go of my board. I'm like, no. As soon as I go, I'm like,
I'm
yeah,
not gonna
fuck that.
die here. Yeah.
I hit. He grabs onto my ankle, and then I spin around. I'm not even sure how he got a hold of my ankle. And now I'm sliding down the hill head first on my back. And then I like kind of lift my head up and look, and I see him with his hand on my ankle, and he's sliding with me. And then I see all the snow that I've knocked loose off this hill that I slid down, and it's all coming at us. And then there's like a trees. So it's like
Oh yeah.
after this cliff is like 20, 30 feet maybe, and then like all these trees, and we're sliding towards these trees, snow's sliding towards us, and I end up beside a tree, and the snow just buries us and buries me up to my shoulders.
Jesus
And I'm like, I
Christ.
can't see him at all, but I can feel his hand on my leg. And I just kind of like grab a tree and I start
Start
like
pulling.
pulling on this tree and I break myself loose. He comes kind of tumbling out after me. Thankfully, it was just like a fluff. It wasn't like a full on blown
Yeah,
avalanche.
great situation to be in.
Yeah, but scared the shit out of me.
Dude.
And I'm like, oh man. And like we get out, we start walking around. We're trying to figure out where the hell we are on this mountain that we don't know. Um,
You
and
get
then
down there, the pro guys are like, how'd it go? You're like, fucking great.
we find my snowboard. We can't find his. So he let go of his snowboard to grab my ankle and he lost his snowboard. We found somebody else's snowboard,
Perfect.
completely rusted and like looked like it was like 30 years old.
I'm keeping the snowboard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, he lost his. I found mine. And then we like walked our way down to where we could, hitchhiked home.
Yeah.
Because that's what you do out in Alberta. You just hitchhike.
It's
Nobody
actually
gives a shit.
shocking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Crazy, right? People actually just pick up hitchhikers. Not even a thing here.
But who's gonna
I pick up hitchhikers when I'm in Alberta, but in Ontario, it's not really a thing. Even though I have hitchhiked in Ontario before, still, it's not something you see very often here.
Yeah, I mean, like out there, if somebody's hitchhiking, it's because they're doing exactly what they're getting into what you are just talking about.
Yeah.
Out here, if somebody's hitchhiking, it's because they don't even have a friend with a car and don't have a job. You know what I mean? Like there's a list of things.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Absolutely. Yeah. So we went home and then yeah, we saw this guy working the next day or whatever. And what the fuck happened to you guys? And we're like, what do you mean? And he's like, well, we had like snow patrol looking for you guys and everything. And we're like, oh, really? And we're like, yeah, we just made it down the hill finally. And like by that time, the hill was closing. The hill's closed at like 4 o'clock there, right? Because of all the wildlife, they can't stay open late.
Yeah.
So we were just like, yeah, we just hitchhiked home and that was it. And he's like, yeah, we had snow patrol looking and they were going to send a helicopter out and stuff. And
Well, I mean, because that professional guy was like, hey, did you guys see those guys? And they're like, no. He's like, they're dead then.
yeah, pretty much.
And you just about were. So it's not that he was lying.
No, it was a pretty freaky.
Those ass puckering up moments, you never feel as alive as when you make it.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I mean, that's worth it.
Yeah, that was a big one.
Yeah, don't do that at home, but if you do, it feels great.
Yeah. Don't go into backcountry in the mountains if you're not used to jumping cliffs and whatnot.
Yeah, if you make 0 bad decisions and it's like a rating out of 10, you should be riding at like a 4 all the time.
Yeah.
It's a good thing.
Yeah.
When you survive an 8, it's awesome. Suicide rates fucking rocket. It's fucking episode.
Oh god.
So you're covered in tattoos.
Relatively. I got a leg sleeve. I got my other leg started. I got a chest piece started.
Yeah, it's on your neck.
I got my Adam's apple.
I see that. Actually, that all makes a lot of sense now.
Yeah.
When my mom passes, she's elephants are her animal, and it's going to come up past my heart up onto my neck. So I am eventually going to have a neck tattoo. But
that's cool.
I think my mom is the nicest. It's the most appropriate way for me to have one.
Yeah.
I think.
I worked at I never really had a thing for tattoos, and then I worked at a tattoo shop.
Oh yeah.
For a while, and the different artists and everything like that, and just seeing like it's like us with drywall, man. Like the passion they have with that stuff, and all my tattoos, I've never like picked out a tattoo and been like, this is what I want.
Yeah.
I say, hey man, I'm thinking about something like this. What do you think? And I let the artist run with it, man.
That's
what
you're supposed to do.
Yeah. It's their job, man. They know what they're doing. I got my first tattoo on my head which I can't wait for people to see once I get rid of this hair.
That to me today, I was like, cut your fucking hair off.
I want to, man. I want to.
Yeah.
My first tattoo on my head, I was like, hey, I talked to my one buddy, Daryl Weeb, who owns Luz Marina, I think, in Kitchener.
Yeah.
And I was like, hey, man, I'm thinking about doing like a skull tattoo with the words "No rest for the wicked." And I was like, is that something that you're into? Because that's always what I ask. Is that something you want to do? Because if you don't want to do it, it's fine. I can, somebody will. Yeah, exactly.
It sounds sick.
Yeah.
You're like, this is the guy.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And he's like, yes, I totally want to do that for you. I'm like, okay. I'm thinking like this small skull tattoo with like a little bit of writing. Yeah, he draws up and gets a stencil, and there's a full-on blown
6x8,
like huge skull on the side of my head. And then he freehands the letters on there and yeah, put it on there. And it was I'll be honest, he put that stencil on my head and he was like about to get going, and I was like, I need a minute.
Yeah.
And I had to like look in the mirror, and I was like, am I seriously the kind of guy that's gonna get a fucking head tattoo this size?
Yeah. A half of your skull tattoo.
Yeah. And I mean,
probably looks dope.
Oh man, it looks awesome. And I calm myself down and I'm like, he knows what he's doing. This looks sick. It's like bigger than I thought it was gonna be, but it looks fucking awesome.
It has to be bigger to get the detail and like to let the guy do his job.
Man, the best thing with tattoos and everything like that, like fill up the space.
Yes.
Like I've heard lots of people, myself included, I got like these little tattoos that I put behind my ears, and then I got neck tattoos, and they're still there and they're part of me, and I love those tattoos, but it's one of those things where it's like the smaller tattoos ruined what the bigger tattoos could have been.
Yes.
It's
taking up real estate.
Yeah. So I mean, if you're gonna get a tattoo, certain things like, yeah, man, like get it done.
Get your whole face tattoo.
Yeah, that's next. My wife, I'm not sure she really likes my head tattoo. She likes me having hair.
Oh yeah.
When we first met, I said, like eventually, like I want to be covered head to toe in tattoos. Maybe not face tattoos. We'll see.
Yeah, we'll get there.
I'm not opposed to face tattoos. It's just not me yet.
It's not me yet.
Yeah.
I like that.
But even like most of the tattoos I had, the neck tattoos and everything, like there was a while before I was finally like, hey, like I'm in construction now. Like I'm like, there's no.
Well, you got knuckles, right?
The knuckles, yeah.
That's so Brad. I remember when he got his knuckles done, and it was like he had hit that point where he's like, I'm never working for anyone again. Fuck everyone else.
Yeah.
And then he got them done, and he's like, if you don't like these, I'm not working for you.
Yeah.
And it felt very freeing. I was like, I want to be there one day.
Yeah. Fucking A.
And they're dope.
What did he get on his?
Hard luck. Something like that.
Yeah.
I'll have to look.
I want to talk to Brad sometime. He's
dude, we should,
he's like I saw him at the Fresco Harmony thing. That was the first time that I met him. I follow him on Facebook or on Instagram now. Facebook, I'm so old,
it's all right.
But yeah, I follow him on Instagram now, and he's intimidating. I'm gonna say
I never understood the intimidating just because he's so good.
No, not because he's good. That's awesome. Like watching him work now that I have him on Instagram is like there's something, I don't know what it is about what we do and like the joy I get from watching someone else do it well.
Yeah.
He
level 5 to ceiling with boxes.
Dude, that was fucking sick.
What are you talking about?
Yeah, I was like, what the fuck? I didn't even know that was a thing.
It's not a thing. That's what I'm saying to you. Like,
oh man.
North Star just came out with those inside track box pieces. So it takes every box and makes it an inside track box. And I think that's how we did it.
Okay.
But I don't know.
Yeah.
What do you mean? That's not a thing. And he's like, it's totally a thing. It works really good.
Yeah.
Okay. Man.
Okay. Yeah. If you say so. I mean, I trust him.
If you're gonna trust someone, yeah.
But no, I like the podcast that he did with Nick and like, oh, it's the bad boy of drywall or whatever and stuff.
Dude.
Does it?
Yeah, because it's like what were you gonna say?
I was just gonna say he seems like he's got a bit of that dickness to him, which I say is intimidating, but ultimately those are the people that I'm like the most friends with.
Absolutely.
The people that will just tell it to you like it is.
That's it.
And everything. But he's definitely like, at the Fresco Harmony thing, I'm the type of person to like sit back and kind of watch people at first and see just observe.
Yeah. What is the situation?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I really want to like talk to him
He's very hard to read
meet
from
him.
the other side of a room. You really have to be talking to him.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. He seems like he keeps to himself unless he wants to
He-
not keep to himself.
Yeah, he's content, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and that like dickness you're talking about, I think, is why we get along so well. Is because that stuff never affects me.
Yeah.
And I love to know where I stand with someone all the time. I've always known where I stood with Brad ever since I've met him.
Oh, I bet.
I worked for him in the beginning.
Yeah.
And it's one of his best qualities, I think.
I think it's a great quality in anybody that can tell.
I'm very much the same.
It's
like, I'm not gonna lie to you.
I can tell that about you.
I'm not worried about your feelings.
And I think that's one of the reasons why I like you so much too. It's yeah, I don't know what I don't know. I'm just drawn to that. Yeah. I love my best friends are two guys that, will tell me what I need to hear.
Because it is what you need to hear.
Or not what I need to hear, but what I need to hear. Some people are like, you're just telling me what I want to hear. Well, no, I need you to tell me what I need to hear, not what I want to hear.
When somebody tells me what they think I want to hear, I now can't trust your opinion.
Yeah.
Right? And that sucks.
Yeah.
How are you gonna do that? Yeah, it's oh, it's full of beer.
Uh-oh.
There we go. Yeah, we'll try and get him out to the next event. The other part of this is these guys that have been around since the beginning, Brian and Brad and Phil, and like, how many of these fucking things are you going to come to, really?
Yeah.
Right? This is your 30th event.
Yeah.
And then it's like, I feel like we all started doing this because we were passionate about it. And then when somebody wants to tell you that they want you to come and pretend to be passionate about it and pay you money, it probably feels real fake.
Oh yeah, I bet.
So that's what I applaud a lot of these guys. And a lot of these guys are just busy. Like, they really are.
Oh, I believe that
just
too.
mean, at the end of the day, if I don't feel like I want to be somewhere, I'm just not going to be there.
Yeah.
And it's just the way that it is.
But that makes sense.
There is a whole new generation too. Like, we went down to Vegas, and other than like the Drywall Shorty and Kayla, I think we were all new guys.
Yeah.
All of us.
That's pretty awesome.
That was dope. Right? Chad, the only reason he was down there is because he's good at his job. He doesn't even have a presence on social media. He does, like his company does, but it's not him.
Yeah.
He's not running tools and stuff. It's just look at the quality of work.
Yeah.
And he, I thought that was dope. I think Scott has a really big following, but he's kind of a photographer.
Oh, okay.
So I think making content he's very good at. But again, I've only known him for like a month.
Yeah.
When we were down there, people are going to be sick of fucking hearing this because we've mentioned it a few times on the podcast, but he was basically like, I've got ADD too, really bad, but I've made it work for me. And the way that my brain works, how I can like tickle it into being happy, his is photography. So when we went around and did our big piss up night, he filmed the whole thing.
Oh yeah. Okay.
And just from down here, like candid shots.
Yeah.
And like, I almost got what he was getting from it when he would like kind of sneak off. And I in the back of my mind, I'm like, this would make a dope picture right now. Right. And then you try not to look at the fucking camera and ruin it or whatever. But yeah, Vegas was cool, man.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that sounds like it would have been a great time. I mean, I loved seeing everything that you guys were doing and your little walk around that you did. Cam walking around on his freaking stilts.
Cam's like, I see him walk over to that booth and I see him park his ass on the scaffolding. I'm like, is he gonna put those fucking and right? Sure enough, he just fucking walked over there, said hello to everybody, put those stilts on, and I just told her, okay, I'll be back in a few minutes. I just like ran away, and I was like, I'm gonna go live right now. This is perfect.
That's so fucking funny. I was like, man, Cam, he's like that guy that I just wanted to be like, fuck this guy. And now I'm like, I fucking love this guy. I haven't even met him yet. He's fucking like just a sweetheart, I think.
And it's like, if you were competitive at all at work, you would hate him.
Oh yeah,
Because he is
that good.
killing it.
Yeah.
And same with the Fresco. Like he went down, did the thing with Nick, and then he's been crushing Fresco ever since.
Yeah.
And it all looks dope. Like, you know what I mean? Like quality of work wise, if you're competitive like that, he's your worst enemy.
Oh yeah, I bet.
But holy Christ, is he a character? It's we really only talked the first time on the podcast, and it was like he's my best friend.
Yeah.
I think we did a 4-part episode first time we were even talking.
Yeah.
And yeah, I saw him in Vegas, gave him a big hug, and it was just like we know each other forever.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was, and he is him. Like we had to show him how to use fucking when we went to Udong or whatever the fuck it was, dim sum.
Yeah.
Him and this Matt guy, I think his name was Matt, across the table from me. They're kind of looking at the chopsticks and shit. And I was like, "What are you gonna get?" And he's like, "Chicken noodle soup." I thought he was fucking with me. And then I looked at the menu and it says that. And I looked up, like, "Have you been here before?" And he's like, "That's the only thing I know that's on this menu." So and same. Like,
Yeah.
no, this one says spicy beef. Going for it.
Sounds good.
You know what I mean? So one of the guys that we were with was loud, and then like singing fucking 90 songs loud in this nice restaurant.
Goodness.
And the waiter comes over, he hands him $100 bill. He's like, "We're gonna need some help," right? And then I think Nick picked out what we were doing, but it was basically going to equate to 25 orders that we were just going to share because none of us fucking knew what was going on, right? And it was dope.
Oh.
It was dope. They had one of these things, and then you would poke it. It was full of soup, this dim sum, and then you poked it, and it would drain out into the spoon, and you would drink the soup and then eat the. It was crazy, man.
That sounds amazing.
It was just fucking so good.
I love food, man.
I'm a big foodie.
Like trying new things and everything. Like
when you said that you were gonna be a chef, I see it.
I'm not. I can't cook a goddamn thing now.
I thought you were gonna. No, you said fuck it.
Yeah, pretty much.
Oh, I cook so good, dude.
I got to a point where I got so sick of like, okay, so the first restaurant that I worked at this hotel in Banff, we made everything from scratch. Made our soups from scratch. Like everything was done really well. It was like doing what we do now. There was passion in there.
Yeah.
The restaurant hotel got bought out. We all had to go somewhere. The executive chef that I was working under got a job somewhere and he couldn't take me with him. So he got me an interview at like a ritzy hotel in Banff.
Oof.
I got that job as an apprentice.
It was a nightmare.
Oh, it sucked. Everything was out of pails. Everything was like pre-made. And they charged up the ass for this stuff. And I was like, this sucks.
Yeah.
And I walked into the executive chef's office one day. I never saw the executive chef cook a thing there. He was just in his office doing paperwork all the time for 3 months, you know? And I walked in, I said, "Yeah, I'm gonna go." And he was like, "What?" And I was like, I'm gonna go and I'm not gonna come back. And he was like, "You can't do that." And I was like, "Yeah, but I'm gonna."
Pretty fucking sure.
Yeah. And he just flipped out. He was like from Paris. Oh, just screaming at me, yelling, "You're never gonna work in this town again, blah 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 blah."
Doing shitty work like this, I hope not.
I was like, "All right, see ya." And I just went and grabbed my stuff and left, and that was the end of that. And it sucked because I mean, before that, like I had passion for it, you know?
That is one of the biggest things that strikes me about you is the integrity, right? And I feel like maybe that's why, because it was starting to, you guys are overpriced for the shit that I don't even like anymore.
Yeah, I'm not even making it. You're buying it from a different company that comes pre-made. I'm just putting it on a plate. And even like there was a moment, so I was like plating kitchen orders or something like that with one of the cooks there who didn't do an apprenticeship. He's just some guy that got lost in Banff. You worked out there. I'm sure you saw those guys that just, they got there when they were teenagers and then never left. And
like the stray cat.
Yeah, exactly. They're all over the place there. And he's plating this kitchen sandwich or whatever. And I was like, "Oh, if we place the sandwich like this, and it looks better, Like it's one of the things I was taught at the restaurant. People eat with their eyes before they eat with their mouth, Like if you put something that looks good on a plate, it's gonna taste good.
Yeah.
And I was like, "Oh, just plate it like this." That's not how we plate that. And he puts it back the way it was and sends it out. And I'm like, all right, this place sucks.
Wicked.
I'm just like, and you know what? They had an awesome bakery.
Ooh.
So they made like they had patissiers and like made their own cakes and stuff like that.
Yeah, what's a
Pies.
PTCA?
Like I believe they make like cakes and stuff,
Oh, yes. Okay. Yeah, yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah.
So I think
Like
that's
that
like the
is the name
French
of the
word.
cake
Yeah,
maker.
patissier.
I thought that was the thing they made, and that
No,
sounded delicious.
no, yeah, like a pastry, I
Yeah,
guess. A pastry chef, I think
makes
is
sense.
what it's called. Yeah.
Makes sense.
Um, so yeah, and it was like a floor below. And I remember like going down to that floor and seeing these guys who were in school or finished school making these cakes. And I was like, man, like, is there a way that I could like transfer down here and do this? Because this seems like something that I want to do. Because they had the ability to do what they wanted, or have that creativity to make these cakes and decorate them the way they wanted. And then, it was one of these ritzy hotels. So every Sunday or Saturday or whatever it was, they would do like that brunch,
Yes.
and we would put out all the crap, you know, breakfast stuff or whatever, and you'd be
Bacon and
sitting there at the
everything.
waffle station making waffles and whatnot.
That stupid look on you.
Oh yeah, with a stupid chef hat and everything. What would you like? I hope I don't burn this.
Shake it first and then flip it over.
Oh man. And then there's these cakes and everything would be out there at
Oh,
this
yeah.
buffet. And I'd just be staring them down, just like, oh man, like,
Appreciating it.
oh, they're so cool.
Yeah.
So yeah, I really lost my luster after working at the first place and then going to the second place. And the second place being this ritzy hotel that I thought was gonna be like this is where I'm gonna learn everything, and like
Yeah.
this is where I'm gonna hone my skills and everything. And then like opening pails and dumping stuff out and being like, oh, this is it. Here you go.
Here you go. That'll be $100.
Yeah. You're welcome. Make
Yeah.
sure you tip your waitress.
There's two types of money that I've come into, not that I've come into, that I've like been in front of. And the like ritzy, you know, we only come here because it's here. That kind of shit
Yeah.
is so lackluster.
Oh,
Um, these people that are sitting in $2 million chairs, they don't have any money because they have no liquid money because they're trying to have stocks in a summer home and a fucking $40,000 TV. Like, it's not impressive to me.
no.
This is all a bunch of shit that somebody is telling you is worth 10 times what it is. And because it's worth 10 times what it is, you're saying it's valuable and it's not.
Yeah.
And I respect the people that want to hit those goals. Like I'll never own a Rolex. If Rolex sends me a Rolex, I'm gonna sell it.
Yeah.
Or I'll give it to my son or something.
Yeah.
You will never see me with a Rolex. And they're a quality watch. I don't need a watch, man. You know? Yeah, I'm just that type of guy. But there are people that have a lot of money that are real people, and they've accumulated a lot of money through doing that. And the way those people spend a lot of money is a lot of fun.
Yeah. Yeah.
Where they'll do events or they'll fly a bunch of people out somewhere fun and do something fun, memorable,
Yeah.
right? Like
Yeah. To create memories
and that's
and
exactly what
stuff.
it is.
That's huge. Yeah.
That to me is big, and those people are humble, and they make you feel like you're not too far off of them, that kind of thing. Though that's the type of money that is impressive to me, and those are the types of things that are impressive to me. But like these hotels that it's like, even the golf and country clubs, like your golf course isn't that good.
Yeah. It's a
And
golf course.
yeah, it literally not good. And it's not that it's not that good, it's that I'm not as good of a golfer to appreciate it, maybe too.
Yeah.
But I mean, I'm not paying fucking 20 grand and nothing a year, or 10
Yeah.
grand a year to just like go. No, there will be none of that.
Yeah.
And they're not hand making shit, and they're charging you hand making prices.
Oh yeah.
I don't like it.
I think LL Cool J said it best when he said, man makes the money, money doesn't make the man.
Ooh,
Type thing, right?
I love it. I'm gonna hike my left pant leg up for that one. Yeah, it's true though,
Yeah.
right? It's yeah, Curtis Jackson. So 50 just came out with a new book again, and I'm listening to it. I'm not reading it, and it's the same shit.
Yeah.
He's talking about himself in the third person as not 50 Cent, as Curtis Jackson, the businessman.
Yeah.
And hearing that side of the story is really impressive. But he did It's called The 51st Law or something like that. And this writer that wrote the book um did like Napoleon and like great men. And then he followed Curtis around for however long it was, maybe a year, and he wrote a book.
Yeah.
It's a wild book.
Really?
It just like how he understood situations and found like just mindset, I guess.
Yeah.
So this one's very different, but he references the first book quite a bit.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, hip hop has a lot of intelligence to it.
Oh yeah.
Jordan Peterson actually mentions that of when he says you need to be a monster, right? And then you need to learn to control that. When people ask him directly what that means, he's like, you need to be able to defend yourself. And the first way to do that is with your mouth, right? You need to be able to be articulate. And that's why these like angry young men like rap music, because that's exactly what that is.
Yeah.
It's very cool.
Yeah, man.
Hip hop, bro.
Well, gotta love it.
Gotta love it. Got 3 minutes left. You want to do another one? You want to wrap it up?
Fuck, man. I'll do as many as you want to
All
do.
right.
I'm loving it.
We'll be here tomorrow.
I'm loving it.
Okay. We will be right back.